Joel, we have a little, bit of breaking news. I don't know if you were able to catch this. Sony is teaming up with the investment group Apollo to merge with Paramount. I don't know if you
Wait,
saw it.
what?
Oh, you didn't see it,
No, I'm checking this right now.
sir? Yeah, just Google Sony Paramount.
Yep, I see this. Discussing joint bid for Paramount.
Yeah,
That is huge.
that's big.
I assumed that Paramount and HBO, there was talks of that coming together.
There were. I mean, but
There,
they
but
could.
this is like
Is it
a
different?
dark horse here.
Right.
Sony coming in and saying, "No, we're gonna acquire you." That's huge
Yeah, Sony's making
potentially.
power moves, right? When it for
That's
in media right now, right? It's like with Crunchyroll, um, and they basically own the anime market in the U.S.
yeah.
Like they own it. They own gaming, like whether you like it or not, they do, right? You can talk about Nintendo, right? Well, one Nintendo, but when it comes to like, we're talking about premium like gaming products. I'm not saying that Nintendo's not a premium. They do charge a premium for their games, but
Right.
that's a whole other discussion. um, but they're very well positioned right now to make moves. Um, this is big for me, right? Because again, I go back to what I always go back to. What about Sonic? What about Sega? What about Sony would own the movie rights
They're getting closer.
to that, right? As long as they keep, I think Paramount right now has a decent vision right now with Sonic and what they're doing with Transformers and some other things that they're working on. I think they're in a pretty good spot. Um, but this would put Sony like into more like TV. Like Sony's still missing like their big um streaming platform. And I know Crackle's Sony, but that's you know not lower quality. I mean they have good movies, but lower quality compared to like other services. But then this putting them in competition with HBO and Disney Plus
Yeah.
and all that. Um, Very interesting, man. Very breaking news from about an hour ago, or about 3 hours ago actually. But yeah, it's they're making moves. They're making moves. Um, so I use that as a segue and talk about Neo the Hedgehog. So Keanu Reeves is officially your Shadow the Hedgehog, and I'm very excited and very happy about it because he's a perfect fit for Shadow.
Oh, for sure.
Like I, I remember fans like kind of putting it out there. It's like, oh, you should get Keanu to do Shadow. You should get Keanu to do Shadow, and it's man, I think like Sonic and the whole production team and the studio listening to fans about what they want in the Sonic movies is phenomenal. Like these guys are taking feedback from the fans and making it happen. They took feedback from the Sonic design. They changed it. They took feedback for Sonic 2. Sonic 2 happened. It was good. And it was like, oh, do Keanu as Shadow, Keanu Shadow, right? So, these guys are they are I think out of all the studios right now, because even I know that Marvel and to some extent Lucasfilm tried to listen to the fans at some points in the last I don't know 4 years. Paramount's the one that's really been out there like listening to the fans and listening to what people want. Like
Right.
again, we go back to Transformers. Like the last movie, it wasn't that good,
Step
but
in the right direction.
it's a step in the right direction, and fans were asking for Beast Wars stuff,
Right.
and I was like, all right, well there you go, here's some Beast Wars stuff, right? Um, yeah, um, I mean, I'm really excited for Sonic 3, man. Like the more I keep hearing about stuff that they're putting in for fans, I'm just really really excited. So, but yeah, what do you think of the casting choice?
This just proves to you over and over again that they have the fans in mind when they're making this kind of stuff. Because any, I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to speak ill of anyone in these groups, but like any old Hollywood executive would just sit back and be like, I don't know, grab some other random comedian and keep going. Because these movies are for kids and they're silly and whatever. It's like, nah, man. You let these guys go hardcore and say, let's go get somebody that fans will recognize the name,
Yeah,
matches the personality of the character you're trying to emulate. Is and it's just gonna not be like, like people just look at like, oh, it's Dark Sonic and there's Happy Sonic. Like, no, like Shadow's way more than
there's
that.
a clear
And
distinction. Yeah,
there's a clear distinction. And when you hear the voice and you have a voice talent like this, you're gonna get that. I think brought through. So that's really cool. Uh yeah, just I mean, what more can I say about Keanu in general? Like the fact that this movie even has again another, you say it, A-lister, I would argue
yeah.
right now with him joining. I think he's an A-lister in
Oh,
Hollywood with
totally.
this.
Yeah,
I mean, he can lead franchises, and so like you're looking at a budget that's pretty big, clearly. Like you already have Jim Carrey coming in back, and like now you've got Keanu and all these different people involved in this process. This movie's gonna go crazy. And the fact that they're making it clear this is supposed to be like an Avengers type thing of where they're going with this
yeah,
world. I think that I think Keanu's gonna have a contract for a while. Like I think Idris Elba signed a big contract, and I think Keanu signed a big contract probably.
yeah. The, I, did you ever play Shadow the Hedgehog on PS2?
I don't think
Where
so.
Shadow had guns, shoot guns.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I
I
played
wonder
it.
if they're gonna do like a John Wick kind of like call back to Shadow with guns.
The once you put guns, isn't that go to PG-13? Like the moment like you show like a weapon, I don't know.
No, yeah, they gotta. I
I
mean,
don't know.
they gotta make a
I don't
ref. They
know.
gotta make a reference.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
gotta make a reference. I just want to hear
Oh, yeah.
Keanu yell,
Wear a
"Okay,
suit. Let him wear a suit and sunglasses or
yeah."
something.
Just want to hear Keanu yell "Chaos Control" and vanish and come out
Yeah,
on some
yeah.
other spot in the planet. Man, I'm really pumped for this movie. I'm so excited, and I'm happy that they're happening, and I'm happy that these movies are good. I really enjoyed them both. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That's a movie that I will catch for sure in the theaters because my daughter asked me,
Christmas.
like, my daughter, she remembers, like, hey, wasn't like Sonic 3 supposed to come out this year? It's like, yeah, like Christmas. It's like, oh, yeah, let's go. It's like, yeah, so,
So I think this movie is gonna outperform a lot of movies than people are realizing
yeah,
because there's other movies coming out. I think one of them is the Wicked movie,
yes.
that one, the Wizard of Oz one, or
Uh
whatever.
huh.
Dude, I think this could outperform a lot of things. Like I think this movie's coming big time. You could be looking at 500 million or more, easily
It
with
could do
this
very
movie.
well.
I
Yeah.
can see it doing very well compared to the other ones. But yeah, like are you gonna I'll probably check out Knuckles. That's gonna be on Paramount Plus April 26th, I want to say, the end of
Six
the month,
episodes, I
next
think.
week. I'll definitely try and check it out because I do have Paramount Plus currently.
Yeah.
So
It
I'll
looked
try and check
good.
it out and tell you how it is.
Yeah.
It looks like the same as like the movie qualities as
Yeah.
I'm just in a TV format.
Right. Yeah, it looked real good.
Because Sonic's in it, like they're like all the same characters are in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Tails,
Sonic and Tails are probably gonna be there for like the first episode, but then, they're gonna do peace out, do their thing, and
yeah,
then Knuckles is gonna take over the show. But yeah, it looked fun. So
yeah.
man, this thinking movie, and then now there's rumors that like Rouge uh and Amy Rose are gonna be in. And I was like, oh man,
I
there's
think so. I think so.
oh
Yeah,
like
I
there's
think
rumor,
so.
yeah, like they've been going around. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm very much looking forward to this movie. So. Joel, we got a trailer. Keeping it Paramount, I guess.
Yeah.
For Transformers One. I was not expecting this. Um,
The what it's like or the trailer?
so well, I was not expecting what it's like.
Okay.
Um, and at first, I thought that I was not gonna like it. I was like, oh, this is weird, and it's super charming. Like and I think the voice actors are doing a good job. It looks good. Like visually, it looks good. Um, it looks funny. Like it. This is it's a Transformers prequel through and through, but it's also a kids movie because it has a lot of like Toy Story like humor to some extent. And yeah, I was like, it was kind of like a pleasant surprise because I was expecting it to be more like the War for Cybertron that's on Netflix. I was expecting it to be more like that,
Oh
and I wasn't
yeah,
expecting
yeah,
it to be so lighthearted
yeah.
and charming. So yeah, I looks fine. You know, Optimus sounds fine. He sounds like a younger Peter Cullen, like a yeah. It's like it's like Optimus before the PTSD from the War for Cybertron kicked in. Um, yeah, it you know there's not much to say. I think it looks fine. Um, I've seen some reactions out there, and it seems like a lot of people are getting the same kind of reaction that I got. It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to be like funny and lighthearted and more animated than we all thought it was going to be because I was again I was expecting it to be like the Netflix show, and this was more like a Toy Story thing. So yeah, it looked good, man. I don't know what you think, but yeah, I think you're gonna differ from me on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we talked about being civil in the start of the show. We don't always agree. I did not like this trailer. I think that the animation looks nice. I'm sure the talent behind it is good, the voice talent. That's not my issue actually with this.
Yeah,
It really just for my issue is just that it seemed a little too goofy.
it's
That's
goofy.
just that's
Yeah,
just my personal opinion.
right.
Like I don't mind comedy, but it felt like just from the trailer, it felt like just crossed the line of just like too goofy for me. Like it's like they almost went like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles route, which is
Mm,
fine for that. Like that works good because they're supposed to be teenagers and like they're
right.
silly and whatever and they're like having fun. And they kind of made every character like that to me.
You know what? That makes sense because they're kind of trying to make a TMNT version of Transformers almost.
Right.
I
And
can see where you're coming from. Yeah,
and I liked I really liked the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that we
with
got
Mayhem.
Mayhem. I really enjoyed that. That doesn't mean that I want Transformers to be that. That's just me. Like I think I'm probably in the same boat of you of like what I would like to have had was probably more of like the War for Cyber, like the stuff you see on they have the Netflix series. Not the animation style, but just the storytelling
Right.
style of it. I love that it's like all just based in Cybertron. Like it's just it just
Yeah.
you just have a Transformers being the main characters, Autobots being your main characters. Like I love that. But somehow they made the Autobots too much like humans before they've ever even met humans.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, you gotta because I don't think I think this is the first time that we've seen Cybertron pre-war.
right.
Right? We've always seen Cybertron like either destroyed or in
Yeah.
war or getting eaten up by Unicron or something, right? Um, but we never seen it like before everything went down. So I can see how they want to tonally differentiate the
Yeah.
timeline, right? But I can see where you're coming from. Like there's some parts that are kind of goofy. I found it. I watched it and I was like, oh, this is kind of like a kids movie, right? And
And that's
you know,
something that I'm okay with because I understand
yeah,
it's not for me. I
right, right,
just like I got that's important like to know to distinguish the two. It's just like I don't like that people take sometimes animated movies and act like just because animated, therefore it's a kids
no,
movie.
not at all,
Doesn't have to be, but
right.
I understand in this case that's probably what they were going for.
That's what
So
they're. I think they're going for trying to sell some toys.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we'll see if the kids love it. I don't
yeah.
know. I
You
don't
know
know.
what? Again, it could be great, and like you
Could be
you
great.
could eat crow.
I could eat crow. I do still want to see it. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I don't want to see
It'll be
it.
Joel's turn to eat a shrimp. Yeah, I gotta,
Oh
dude.
gosh,
We gotta get together
it's
because
coming.
I owe you that pineapple on pizza because
Pineapple on
it's
pizza for
past
your
March
Disney.
and Sony didn't buy Jack. But well, I don't know. Look, they're trying to buy stuff, but not PlayStation though. Ah,
Yep,
see.
yep.
So that was
Also,
the
your
that's the
Disney
extra
Apple
virtue.
acquisition thing too, dude. You
Oh,
almost
that
had the
that's
first
got that's got
quarter
until
too.
summer. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna
I don't
happen.
think that's gonna happen.
There is Apple will not be buying them yet.
No, but yeah, they're definitely going to. They're selling this one for the kiddos for sure. So